Welcome to week 3. If you've had weeks 1 and 2 and you think that that's kind of enough for where you're at the moment, then just repeat those weeks, maybe just up the intensity a little bit, push a bit harder, maybe shorten the rest, or just try and add a few extra sessions into your week if you don't feel ready to move on to the next one. So week 3, our strength session today is going to be focusing on our shoulders, so our deltoids, triceps, a little bit of pec, into our lats, trapezius, and some of the other supporting muscles around there. It's going to be quite a demand on our core as well, just in some of the moves, so we're going to get a lot of bang for our buck. Again, this is all about making sure we stay strong. It's going to help with injury prevention, it's going to improve our ability to create force and generate power. So all round building us a good package, as well as being able to keep our shoulders in a good posture, which is going to affect the rest of our body as well. Enjoy the sessions, work through at your own pace, make sure you're warmed up, make sure you're in the right headspace to do it, and you'll be feeling better later. Let's go. So the first move we're going to look at today in our strength session is called the YTW. This is going to work mostly the back of our shoulders, so the back of our deltoid, a little bit into our lats, a little bit into our trapezius. So what we're going to do is I'll just talk you through the move first, then I'll demonstrate it in a frontal plane, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to lie down and we're going to just work through some moves with our shoulders. So it's YTW, so this is going to be the Y position. Then we're going to then come back in and go to the T position. We're going to come back in and we're going to go to the W position. So we're going to keep working our way through that. So it's going to be Y, T, W. On all of these, we're really trying to squeeze our shoulder blades together. So we come up into the Y, trying to squeeze. When I come up into the T, trying to squeeze. When I come back and go down to the W, I'm trying to squeeze as well. So all the time, just trying to get as much strength and mobility work out into my shoulders. So we're going to look like this. We're going to come down onto the floor. And I'm going to give myself a little bit more space here. I'm going to raise up, so that's going to engage my lower back. And then all I'm going to do is go Y, T, W, squeezing all the time. Y, T, W. Reps for that, today we're looking towards 3 to 8 reps depending on which move we're doing. So something like the YTW, we could probably end up towards the 8 reps, because that shouldn't be too demanding, it's quite low intensity, that one. But through some of the other moves we're going to do today, we might find we're doing a lot less than that because they're a little bit more intense, a bit more demanding. So YTWs, let's get started with those. So for our next move, today's strength session, we're going to just start looking again at the front of the shoulders, a little bit of core as well, this one. So we're going to come up into our long arm plank. This one's sort of a medium intensity move, this one. So we're going to come up into long arm plank, and then concentrating on pushing from the shoulder here. So all I'm going to do now is just push myself back and lower back down. Push myself back and lower back down. If I want to get a little bit more intensity into the front of the shoulder, I'm going to start in front of my hands. So I'm just going to bring my hands back a little bit. So I'm going to start in front of them and push back. Just adds that intensity, makes it a little bit harder. You can definitely feel the difference between being here and starting and being here and starting. It's massively different. So start with this one, see how that feels. If you need the extra intensity, bring your hands back, take your shoulders beyond your hands and add that in. Great workout, works the deltoids really nicely. Again, you might start with the slightly easier one. You might be able to get up to 8 reps. With the harder one, you might want to drop that down. Keep it nice and slow, keep the breathing. We shouldn't be getting any pain in the shoulder, but we should be getting some fatigue into the shoulders. Off you go. For our next move, we're going to look at a push press. So we're going to come into our move, and what we're going to do this time is really work. It's almost like a press up, but slightly inverted. So this one, I'll do it from the side and the front just to make sure everyone can see that. So I'm going to come up into my long arm plank position, but this time I'm going to push myself back, trying to get my head back by my shoulders, and then I'm just going to lower down and push back up. Lower down, push back up. Keeping it nice and slow, nice and controlled throughout. That move from the front looks like this. So my hands are just about shoulder width or just beyond shoulder width apart, up into plank, pushing back and then lowering and pressing. Lowering and pressing. Quite high intensity again because it's working quite heavy into small muscle groups. It's going to work the tricep and the deltoid quite nicely, that as well. If you feel ready for that, give that a go. If everything we've done so far is okay for you, the next one to look at is something called a depth charge, which incorporates a few of the moves we've just done. Much higher intensity this one. I'd definitely put this in the high intensity category, but if you feel like your upper body's ready for it, then let's get sorted. So again, I'm going to come into long arm plank. What I'm going to do now, shoulders, hands about shoulder width apart, feet planted, bum down, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push back, going to hold, and I'm going to lower down till my head gets near the floor. Once it's there, I'm going to run my nose along the floor, hovering my chest, pressing back up. Then I'm going to push back through the shoulder. I'm just going to rotate through that for as many reps as I fancy. This one, like I say, it's more intense, but it's a much bigger move. So it's working huge amount of the shoulder, it's working my core, it's working my pecs, it's also working tricep. So you get quite a lot for it, but it's definitely a harder move for anybody who's ready for that. Again, go with that sort of between 3 to 8 reps if you can get to that. If not, just do one and have a little rest. Do another one, have a little rest, but just keep it so it's challenging, making sure you're not just landing on your head in a crumpled mess. Enjoy that one. For our final move in week 3 here on strength, we're going to be looking at the shoulders. This is quite an advanced move. This one's going to be quite intense, so don't feel you have to try this one. Just make sure that you're pretty comfortable with everything else that's been done so far. This one's going to involve the wall, and it's going to involve my feet. This is quite a slippy wall, so I've just put my trainers on just to give me a bit more grip. If you're going to do this indoors in your house, make sure you've asked permission of the homeowner, and you've got clean feet and clean soles, or you're going to be in all sorts of trouble. So this one, it's a handstand against the wall, but I'm going to walk up to it from a braced plank position. So I'll demonstrate it, and then I'll talk you through it. So it goes a little something like this. I'm going to brace against the wall, feet off the ground, and walk my feet up and my hands in. When I get to there, I'm just going to push my head towards the wall. I'm just going to pause for a few seconds and walk my way back down. So this one's quite intense on the shoulders, quite intense on the core, because I'm in a braced plank against the wall here. When I do it, what I was trying to do at the top there is not end up here, but push through, so pushing my head and my chest towards the wall, so I'm getting a nice bit of mobility through the shoulders. Really nice move. You can repeat that as many reps out and back as you like. Really quite intense. Great for all sorts of paddle sports, great for shoulder mobility, but brilliant for shoulder strength as well. So it's cardio week 3. Hope the last few weeks have been good for you. What we're going to do this week, it's pretty cold and wet outside, so we'll do another indoor session. We're going to do a full body workout, and we're going to try and get that heart rate really high. So what we're going to try this time is we're going to use a 1 minute timer this time. So we're going to do everything we can for a minute. Okay, so that's going to be quite a step up from what we've been doing. So we're going to do a minute on, we'll do a minute off, minute on, minute off. You can either do 5 sets of each exercise and work your way through, or you can do one exercise into another exercise into another exercise. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to talk you through each move, each exercise, and you can fit the session together in a way that just works for you, maybe works for the space you've got, and maybe the mood you're in as well. But try and work for all of them. So the first one we're going to do is we're just going to start with our nice warm up, just getting ourselves jogging on the spot. Again, getting the mindset for the session, just keeping ourselves nice and warm, and just thinking about the session ahead. So we'll just do a minute or two of warming up just with a bit of a jog, and then we're going to move into our first move, which is that side, like that front lunge that we were doing before. So alternating our legs, keeping this nice and upright. I don't want to be kind of getting here and slouching, and just pushing back through the quad, through the glute. So really engaging those muscles, really thinking about those muscles that we're using with every step. So a minute of lunging. We're then going to adapt that lunge. We're going to bring a bit more body into it. So what we're going to do this time is I'm going to do my lunge, and then I'm going to come through, do a knee lift. Lunge, knee lift. Lunge, knee lift. We're going to do 30 seconds one side, and then 30 seconds the other side. That's our minute of lunging. We're going to really feel it into our quads. So any of you stand-up paddleboarders, building big strong thighs, quads, glutes, really important. But even for the canoeists and the kayakers, having strong legs is really important. Not only for the power that we output, but also just things like portaging on big river trips or carrying your boats in on expeditions. Just making sure we're good, full body functional people, basically. So, once we've done the glutes, we're then going to do some shoulder walkouts. So we've done these previously in the workout this week. We're just going to do them now with a bit more cardio. So we're just going to take it a bit faster. Out and back, then stand up. Out, back, standing up. Just keep working through it. It starts to involve quite a lot of muscle groups, which are going to require quite a lot of oxygen, which is going to mean our heart rate elevates. Our lungs are going to be working harder. We're going to be in that state of fatigue again. Then we're going to come back to some more jogging, just to get ourselves, keep that energy system working, and then we're going to just speed that up. We're going to get that going faster and faster until we can do almost a sprint, using our arms, using our legs, then into some jumping jacks or star jumps. And we're going to do a minute. After that minute, we're going to do the ones that mess with our minds and change our coordination. So we're going to go from these star jumps, we did these ones before, to this one. Then we can go back and keep messing with it throughout the minute. It's really good because it messes with your mind. You might notice I had a little stutter in the middle. It's great for coordination, it's great for being able to think under fatigue. Mention that quite a lot. And then finish the session with a bit of a gentle cool down and just think, did I work hard enough? If not, go through it all again. Enjoy that. For week 3's mobility session, we're just going to focus back again on our shoulders. Again, that's a key part, but the main reason we're doing this is not to create greater flexibility and weakness in the shoulder. It's a bit of a misunderstood that people think, I don't want flexible shoulders because they'll dislocate. That's a bit of a myth. What we want is shoulders that can rotate through their normal range of movement with ease. If we've got really tight shoulders, when they come under load, something's going to give. Whereas if they can move through their kind of required range and their designed range, we're going to be a lot better off injury prevention wise. And again, being able to get into the key positions for paddling, whether it's top arm for SUP or canoe, top arm for kayak strokes, making sure we can just hold and be in those positions with ease. So we're just going to walk through a few simple moves, some of the ones we did before just to remind us, but just some other ones as well. So we're going to start with our elbows in, hands in front. We can be kneeling or sitting for this, doesn't matter, you can do it standing if you like. These ones you can even do at your desk, which is quite useful at the moment. We're all spending a lot more time in front of laptops. So hands front, and all I'm going to do now is just gently rotate out and back. I don't want to be pushing too far, just out and back. And I can feel that just stretching through the shoulder there. Everyone will be working at their own pace. Again, with all these mobility exercises, I don't feel any pain. There's no pain involved. It's just that there's a slight discomfort as I go, that's my kind of range, and then I'm coming back again. I'm not pushing beyond that, I'm not bouncing, I'm not like flying my arms out. It's just nice, everything's nice and controlled, and I'm breathing throughout the movement. The next one we're going to look at is we're just going to do shoulder raise. We're going to do individual shoulders. So one hand's going to stay down by my side. I'm kind of pulling my elbow in to keep it there. And then this other hand is coming up, rotating and out to the side and down. So I'm coming up, rotating, out to the side and down. And with that one, what I don't want to be doing is trying to force it all the way back. I'm just coming up to my range of movement, turning my hand, out and down. I can work through that on either side. So I'm coming up, rotating and down to the side. Up, rotating and down to the side. I'm trying not to let my shoulders hunch. If you do it with both shoulders, quite often you end up hunched here, so you come up. So we're trying to keep this one down, control this one as well. Up, out and down. Try not to bring my shoulder in. Trying to keep this space nice and even. So up, out and down. Really nice little session, that one. Other ones we can do are using the wall here. So I'm going to put my hand on the wall and just gently rotate my shoulders away. So my hand's on the wall, I'm getting a bit of a stretch through my pectoral muscle. So the pec joins into the shoulder, so it's important that if that's tight, we need to just gently loosen that up. So it's up on the wall, so I'm side onto the wall, hand up behind me, and just gently pushing my shoulder forward in that direction. So on the opposite side, shoulder up, hand up on the wall, just gently getting that stretch through my shoulder. Really nice mobility move, that one. Next move. So that last one was talking about where the pec attaches, but our lats and the back of the shoulder, the muscles in our back also attach up into the shoulder. Any of those are tight, they're starting to limit the movement we can have in our shoulders. So this next one, I'm just going to use this bench. You can use a chair, you can use this sofa, you can use your bed, just any stable platform here. So all I'm going to do here is going to put my elbows onto the bench. Here, I'm going to just move my knees back, and then all I'm doing is dropping my shoulders and my head between my arms. And just gently relaxing into it. For more stretch, I can bring my hands back to my neck as well. And what I should be feeling here is a stretch all the way up through here. Nice and gentle. I can just come into this, drop my head down. If I need more, bring my hands back. For these sort of static-y type stretches, I can hold those minimum 15 seconds, anywhere up to a minute. I don't want to be in pain, I don't want to be in too much discomfort, but I should be feeling a stretch through those. Really nice set of maneuvers there. Work through those. You can do these every day. It's a great way, like I say, if you're sat at the desk or you're sat watching too much telly, just work your way through some of these different maneuvers and start improving that shoulder mobility, which will improve shoulder strength and improve your all-round paddle sport technique.